So on that note, we'll let you go. Thanks for the first take. Let me quickly take it across to Abneesh as well, who's joining us. Abneesh, your first take on the numbers with respect to the domestic performance with the kind of margin that we have seen and the launch of Nespresso as well as joint venture with Dr. Reddy's.
So yes, definitely results are decent. So your revenue, I think, around 2% ahead of our expectation. Margins also ahead. So our sense is clearly the lower milk cost is benefiting Nestle. Yesterday also, HUL did highlight that for even their Horlicks business, the lower milk cost is now helping both in terms of raw material and as a consumption also. And we earlier saw in the dairy company Hudson Agro results also that margins clearly for dairy companies are improving. So for Nestle, milk is the positive thing. Of course, cocoa and coffee are up, but those are smaller raw materials. Plus, there is a pricing power, and those will be visible more in the coming quarters. So that's something which we will continue to monitor. On the question of Nespresso, clearly it's a good long-term development. So obviously we'll wait for more clarity here, given it is just an announcement. But this is more at the premium end, but this was something which investors wanted because investors in India want all businesses of Nestle to be done through Nestle India business. So this is a good premium development for Nestle medium long term. So we remain positive. Of course, next 1 month we seek more clarity on what is the regulator saying on the sugar issue in Cerelac. We personally feel that currently in India, regulation-wise, 20% is allowed. So to that extent, the regulation in India will also keep becoming like what's there in, say, Europe, etc., where sugar in the infant food is not allowed. But in India, currently, regulations do allow that. So we don't see any big concern from Cerelac issue on the numbers. But definitely, long term, we remain quite positive on Nestle. But near term, the overhang on the Cerelac issue will remain on what the regulator does. But we don't see any big impact. This is our sense.
Sure. Abneesh, just wanted to highlight a couple more things. Of course, the profit beat is partly led by that exceptional gain of the 100 crores also. So we need to take that into account. And secondly, I don't know if you went through that, Abneesh, but the management commentary on commodity outlook is a bit concerning in the sense, of course, they're stating the obvious that coffee and cocoa prices are at all-time high. But they also talk about cereals and grains seeing a structural increase in price, plus the fact that they're saying milk prices are expected to rise. All of that would make you believe that the margins have peaked. How worried about you are on margin front for FY25?
So you have to see margins on an annual basis. This quarter, there is a beat on margins. So quarterly volatility will be there. Now coming to coffee and cocoa, I think there clearly pricing power companies do have because there are 3-4 players only. It's not a very high competition from local players there. Yesterday in HUL's call also, they did highlight that in coffee, they have already taken the price hike. In India, coffee essentially 2 large players dominate. So we don't see a issue of pricing power. But whenever such sharp inflation happens, companies don't pass on the pricing immediately. They do it gradually. So there can be some mismatch in terms of timing. But I have absolutely no doubt that in coffee, the pricing will be fully passed on. On cocoa, where there is almost 300-400% inflation, I think it will be a bit more measured and maybe companies will look at alternate kind of a formulation, etc. That always happens. So milk is soft. Milk, there is no problem. Milk already, as I highlighted, Hudson Agro saw very sharp expansion of margins. HUL also highlighted. So milk, it's not an issue. Coming to cereals, etc., if you see in India, cereal inflation is a function of monsoon. So plus it's also depending on the global cost, etc. So that will be year-to-year basis. I don't think there is a big reason. If monsoons are good, I don't think there's a big reason to worry on the cereal spread.
Fair. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us, Abneesh. But an important clarification, we had earlier flashed that the exceptional gain was 100 crores. We stand corrected. It's at 10 crore. So just need to make that rectification. We regret the same. But moving